Hello. We are back from our winter break, and I think we're just ready to start the new year off really well. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, uh, sort of time. I know we did. We were in North Carolina for like a whole week. That was a getaway. We had my family drove up from Mississippi. We drove down from Philadelphia. We met in the middle in Highlands, North Carolina, in the Great Smoky Mountains, and that was quite the drive. I was the one navigating all the little hairpin, little off a cliff if you mess up once, off the cliff roads. That was my blood pressure's fine. I hope everyone else's blood pressure is okay. Um, how is everyone else this evening?
Good. Does anybody want to talk about their holiday break?
Anyone?
I didn't really
No.
have I didn't really have much of a break. I took a temp job, so I was working a lot and I was really tired.
Aw,
So
I
this
hear
last
you.
week has been my actual break.
Understood.
December was the worst month I've had in a long time, and
Oh my
I don't want to
God.
bring the mood down too much, but
You know what?
you know,
Fair. You know
I'm
what?
glad it's over for you then.
yeah, no. It started with my dog passing away and ended with me
Oh.
having a broken tooth. So
Oh,
December was absolute just terrible.
Bye.
I'm sorry.
let's ring in the new year with new roles and new adventures. Which we are on one right now. I believe you are in the mall. You the last thing I remember where you fixed a tire that was or a bunch of tires that were bitten by some vampires, and you were able to patch them up fairly successfully, without spending too much money. So that's good. Their little practical joke um, has been somewhat reversed, uh, and you've just been pouring over, sort of gearing yourself up for the next leg of this adventure, in the town of Cliffmont. And I will say, as you are sort of shopping around in the mall, there is at the what was it called? It wasn't. It was the. It was the. It wasn't. It wasn't the Best Buy. No. It was the Better Purchase. That's what I called it. The Better Purchase. Um,
Better purchase.
the Better Purchase. Uh, you see in the front, in like a pyramid display. It's an item I forgot to list off the last time we were here. Um, but on sale for a discounted price of 25 gold pieces, uh, or 25 credits, are lesser rubber ducks of coating. Essentially,
Love it.
That's
essentially,
amazing.
you could buy one of these little rubber ducks. They're magical. If you spend a minute talking to the duck while you're working at a computer, you get a +1 to any computer related role, um, or coding related role. Uh, you can also has 3 charges, which reset itself at dawn. Um, each you can use a charge to basically, um, find any instantly find any bug in any like system, or to see uh, code dysfunctionality, in the world around you. And I'm trying to remember what the 3 charges were. Um, I think it was you could spend 3 charges to add force damage to any attack roll, which I think was just like a 1d6, but it was only usable once and then done. Like you use the
That's
duck
fantastic.
to break the code of the universe, and there it is.
My brother has a rubber duck that he keeps at his desk.
Yes.
as a coder.
Yes, and that is what the inspiration.
So I love that you're implementing that in.
Right. I
Yes.
in looking up all of like in just planning for this, I've been reading just a bunch of like inside jokes for like coding and like computer stuff, and that was the one that stuck out the most. And I'm like, this has to be an item. But anyway,
That's
yes,
perfect.
those are on sale, and you can buy one. Basically, I built them for Datamancers, Apogees, but you can also use them for any sort of if you have any like desire to work to have skill with computers in this game or technology in general. So
Not me. I don't think I would do computer stuff.
Is there one that looks
I feel-
like goth or like a vampire or some kind of monster or something?
yes, they all
Yeah, I was
come in
gonna
all
say,
different
like-
designs. Think of like all of the rubber ducks that they line in like the dashboard of a Jeep.
Mhm.
All they like if you just collect rubber ducks, yes, they are all different designs of rubber ducks that
How
you
much
can
are
buy.
they?
25 gold pieces.
I'm glad you get one.
Okay.
Tempting.
I feel like Cassie should have one because she's
Yeah.
like computer
'cause
code.
I am a
That's
computer.
what she is. Yeah, I feel like she should just have one like mounted on her shoulder at all times, like a little parrot for a pirate.
I was thinking like maybe putting a chain through it and wearing it as a necklace.
Yo, that's actually
That
really
would be
cool.
great, too.
That's actually
Oh my
really
God.
that's really cool.
All right, I think I'm gonna buy one.
Okay, get one.
That's very
Yeah.
like,
Hold on, I have to
whatever-
consult my rubber duck.
Yeah, whichever one looks like the most like what a goth girl would have. Like
Mhm.
if it looks like a Frankenstein monster with bolts in its neck, or if it looks like a little vampire, or if it's like black with like stitches or something, like something that looks very gothy.
I will design one for you.
I love it.
I
Perfect.
feel like that's very like goth rave of you.
Amazing. But yes, so there are lesser rubber ducks of coding, there's greater rubber ducks of coding, and then there's ultra rubber ducks of coding. So basically your standard +1, +2, +3 sort of deal. But these are the lesser ones, and you've successfully purchased one. It's now in your kit. And with that, because we just
Sorry, it's a +1 to coding.
it's a +1 to if you spend a minute with it, right, talking with it, while you're making a role that is computer coding, code element related, because that's the thing, right? Or I would say general technology, but it's more computing based technology. So if you're troubleshooting a cell phone, that would count. But if you're
Okay.
trying to work on the transmission of a car, it wouldn't count necessarily.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And we kind of discussed that there wasn't much else you guys wanted to do. Y'all kind of wanted to just drive on, get on the road, on up the coast to Kingsmouth, I believe. Yes, Fort Kingsmouth. Okay. So
Well, I think before we went, I did want to see if there's like any shop where there might be like attachments that I could get for my blaster.
oh, like scopes or like grips.
Yeah,
Things.
scopes, expanded magazine, anything that could make the blaster slightly more useful than it currently is.
Didn't you guys also want to buy healing potions and stuff?
Probably that.
Or did you
yes.
do that already?
I don't think
think-
we have.
You
think
bought
I
that's
know I
some
bought
bubble-
rations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
have
have a couple
bubblegum and
things that I can
hyper
use.
water listed
Oh
here.
yeah, that stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Patrick. There. I'm stuck between two names, but I hate them both. I love them both. There is a Richards Sporting Goods, and then there is the Bloodbath and Beyond.
feel
Both
like
are
Yeah.
valid.
Bloodbath and Beyond is going to be more what I'm
I
looking
love
for.
that one.
I
Like
Probably.
love
Richard's
that.
Sporting Goods is probably where I got the original blaster. I'm looking
Yes.
for something that has a little more kick.
Mhm.
Sporting Goods, I'm dead.
Bloodbath and Beyond, indeed.
Bloodbath and Beyond it is. So yeah, I would like to check that out, see if there's anything useful that I can add to the blaster here.
Yeah, sure. You do find you find a number of what am I supposed to do? You find various attachments that can give you bonuses in some areas, disadvantages in others. For example, if you buy a scope, um, for it, you can add for I'd say probably like 10 gold pieces, you could add like an extra 50 feet of like good, or I guess let me see. Oh no, my whole thing crashed. But that's not good. Hello? Oh. Oh no. Yeah, how did that? Oh no. Bring it back? Hello? Oh no. Oh no. Uh, oh no. I will get them back, folks. Just give me a second. While that's happening, I will look up. Right? We just
What just happened?
I have no idea. I think we all just got kicked. I think Twitch didn't like me. Didn't like me talking about I don't know.
Twitch just said, you were removed. You were removed as a guest. No one wants you here.
What? So weird. So while we're gonna wait, so we're gonna wait for. Oh wait, there we go. We're just gonna wait and make sure everyone's cameras get on. God bless America. And while we're doing
There
that,
we
I'm
go.
gonna look up weapons and stuff just to see. Give you like instead of if I say 50 feet and it's like, well, it's like 1% of my actual, I just want to give you an actual good range improvement. You said blaster, right?
Yes, he did. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Wait for him to get back. I think he's just working on his microphone. Maybe. So it says. Oh, indeed. Okay.
Did they do like an update over the holidays?
I don't know. I didn't notice an update over the holidays other than my camera. Sorry. Set the
Okay,
camera for everyone.
you're good. Did you notice I was able to figure out how to get my cell phone audio?
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, I did notice. Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah.
I did notice that, and I was like, oh, good, very good, very good.
Look
Well-
at that, I exist.
There's Patrick. Okay, so, well, sorry, audience, that was weird. But here we go, we're back. So for a blaster, all right,
Are
let's
we?
say you
Okay.
buy a scope, all right. Your range on the blaster is 90, 180, right? The advantage of having a scope is you increase that upper, you increase the lower, the 90 to by like 50 feet. So it now goes from, oh, it kicked me off again. Whoa, nope, we're back. Oh, she's a screen sharing. We're good. False alarm.
Sorry.
You're fine. Oh, no apology necessary. So, okay. So you increase the lower range, which is in D&D ranges are defined as like what you can fire up to without disadvantage and the maximum distance you can fire anything with disadvantage before it just doesn't work out at all. So for a blaster, it's normally 90 and 180. With the scope, you can increase that 90 by 50 feet up to 140. And same goes to the 180 to 230. Right?
Okay.
However, with the scope, the disadvantage now becomes anything 50 feet and below, you're firing at disadvantage at, because you're not using like a normal sight anymore. You're using
Yeah. It would essentially replace the iron sights, and that makes it more difficult if it's closer. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense. I feel like most things I'm going to be shooting at are going to be less than 140 feet away. So
it's possible, and
I don't know that a scope is the way to go for me here.
mhm. So if you do a grip, let's say a grip, and we're getting in a little into the weeds, but this is fine. I like sort of working this as we go. So if you get like a grip, you have a, let's say you get like a +1 to your attack roll because you have better aim, right? What would a grip be a negative about? I guess not really anything. Nah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't really know if there's really a negative to getting a grip, really. From my, and I could just be me.
I mean, it could be something where like the attack roll is improved, but maybe the fire rate is decreased slightly. I don't know that would actually be mechanically accurate, but
yeah.
Your hands just get a little bit more calloused because the grip is just a little bit
Oh
rougher.
yeah. There you go. -1 disadvantage to gentle handshakes. Perfect balance. Balanced as all things should be. Yeah, there you go. We'll work with that. We will work with that. But so if you want to buy a grip, I'd say that's probably a 10 gold piece investment. Easy peasy.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will go ahead and invest in a better grip.
Yeah. There you go. We'll give you a +1 to hits, and that'll be fair,
Okay.
I think. We could also do now. There's +1 to hits, or there's the ever popular. Oh no, that's too powerful. We'll save that. We'll save that for something else. We'll save it for something else. I have an idea. I was gonna fuck with crit ranges, but we'll wait.
I feel like that would be more likely from like a scope situation anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Like maybe one of the better scopes is
Yes,
improved crit range.
high-powered thermal imaging. Okay, so is there anything else anyone would like to buy or search for or work out improvements equipment-wise?
Yeah, I think for me, if it becomes an issue, I'm like, oh shit, I'm not dealing good damage. I need to upgrade my shit. Then I will do so. But
Okay. I'm gonna have a quick.
Not like equipment wise, but Zen would definitely look for a like a salon to get like their nails and get like a mani pedi.
Oh,
And would also like get Rocky like nice and oiled up, a la a la the way they oil up and buff the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz when they get to the Emerald City.
good. Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, there's a salon. It's oh god, what's it called? There's a salon called Trim Lords, which is mostly it's a hair salon, but they do hand and foot related nail accoutrement also with other like minor spa related things. So yes, you could definitely
Cool.
find all of the self care you need.
Rad. Rad. That's definitely what Zen is doing, because after spending so much time in that haunted ass place, I
Yep.
need a little bit of relaxation.
Understood. Understood. Okay. So, and then Charlotte, was there? Oh, yes. You said not now, but later.
Not
Maybe some.
now,
Okay.
but it's on the radar for future stuff. But
Got it. Cool.
yeah,
So you all pile out of the mall, pile into the Miata, uh, do a quick kick on the tires to make sure they're all fine. They're all still fine at the moment. They're good. Um, Drive on down the road. It is a peaceful drive um, for most of the rest of the way. Um, the setting you're cruising through is very similar to like Northern California along the coast, on up through like Oregon, Washington, that sort of area. Mountains on your right, rocky sort of coastline on your left. You can look out over the ocean, and as you do, you start to really get a more a deeper understanding of what people talk about when they say the Reliant Ocean looks green. Out like way off in the distance, there's a green line faint on the horizon, almost as if there's like, and it's sort of shifting just at the edge of your sight. And I should say, knowing that cube is literally a cube-shaped planet, typically speaking, if you're on like an elevated plane and there's nothing in your way, you should be able to literally see a line way off in the distance, because that's how a non-curved surface works. Um, and you can in this instance, you literally can see a straight line. There is no hint of a curvature. It is just a straight horizon. And whether or not you're seeing the edge, or if there is some odd uh, draw distance related thing that for whatever reason you can't see, because that has been documented where people travel and then things that they thought they could see at the edge just suddenly appear out of like some fog, or just looks like it's being written in the distance, drawn in the distance anyway. Um, that is a thing that happens in this universe, but uh, it is serene, creepily serene. Um, there there above you is clear sky. Way off over the ocean, you start to see clouds, and then it just gets deeper, darker, and the deeper you look towards that horizon, the more ominous and unsettling it becomes. I wouldn't say stormy, even because you don't see rain or lightning or anything. It's just lingering there. This deep blanket of darkened cloud cover is just hovering over the ocean, and it's bifurcated by this green horizon that is just reflecting, and like an ombre just sort of trickling towards you, um, across the surface of the ocean. And you do see, as you drive along the coast, you see the waves rocking up against the rocky cliffside, and you pass like very few towns, mostly little blink and you miss it areas. Uh, Gas stations you'll pass by a lot of, up until you get to this bridge, um, which is one of the few bridges, like really large megastructures uh, in the retroverse, in this face of Cube. It's a bridge that spans all the way across this sort of like inlet that divides the Reliant Sea and the Sea of Peace in sort of the central quadrants, um, and it's wide and it's tall. You can barely see in the fog miles away in the distance the other end of the bridge. Um, how this was built is no less than a feat of like phenomenal engineering. Um, but it was done because people needed a way to drive across the thing, um, and you take your little Miata, you get on the bridge, drive across, very idyllic. Um, it's you hit a point in the middle where it's windy. Uh, the wind is just kind of turbulent in this area, and as you get to the other side, it's not so much a um, it's not so much a an active thing that changes, but when you hit the road on the other side of on the peninsula, there's a vibe shift. Like you just innately like something's off. Something's off.
Hmm.
And
How close are we to like the house or wherever we're going at this
oh,
point?
I'd say at this point you're about an hour, 2 hours drive away.
Okay. Do any of
Um,
us have any of us been to this area before?
oh, that's a good question. From what I recall of people's backstories and origins, I don't believe any of you have explicitly. Now, there is a non-zero chance that um, I would say Doyle has, because Doyle's backstory has probably sent him a lot of places around. Um, I don't think Zen. You actually you might have Charlotte, your character.
Okay.
Ivy might have been here, or at least in this area because touring bands and things like
Yeah,
that.
I'm just trying to see like if the area is so unsettling to us, if any of us might have any recollection of, oh, it's always been like this, or oh, I feel like I've been here before, but I certainly don't remember this, et cetera,
Hmm.
et cetera.
I would say, um, it is common knowledge ish, um, or at least rumored knowledge that this place always feels off.
Okay.
It's just people don't want to really live here unless they have no other recourse,
Dang.
um,
Okay.
or they choose an occupation which has very few opportunities elsewhere, um, such as fishing. There
Okay.
there is very good fishing in this area. It is the fish are large. Um, it They taste really good. It's maybe something in the water, but it they are in high demand. Cod is a big export from this area, in terms of like fish types as well. You have other like deep sea fish like marlin, tuna, things like that. But fishermen generally live here in this area. There's also the Azathatonic University, which is here as well, in Port Kingsmouth, and it is a an institution of higher learning. It is probably one of the most revered institutions for um, uh, what would it retroversology, or any sort of like historically related branch of study, it's top marks. I will say, as you are crossing the bridge out in the distance, you do catch in the fog of the sea. You do catch the sort of momentary blinking of a light from a lighthouse, just way off miles in the distance.
Aesthetic.
Yes. Oh, very, very aesthetic. And as you cross on the bridge, you come up to you come up to this sort of just foggy overcast. So you turn on the fogs on Miata, and you're driving slowly through there, and you see about a few hundred feet in front of you, red and blue lights, sort of whirling.
Brayden, what were you gonna say?
Adam, can I
Yeah.
ask a question super quickly?
Yeah.
This may have been stated like earlier on in the campaign, but I guess I just didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Do we know when the last time the quadrants shifted? Do we remember? Do we I think if I remember correctly, it's like years like for that to happen. So I don't know if any of us were alive when it happened, but do we have like a recollection of when the last time was, and then as well as what's the time frame for them to shift? That's kind of what I'm curious about.
Okay. This is a very good deep question. It is not the last time that anyone on this face, I will say this face, and this is a very important distinction here, has known there to be a shift was thousands of years ago. And I say that as a distinction because when cube shifts, any single face can shift.
Is this Rubik's cube? Is this like a Rubik's cube?
Yes, it is. That is exactly what cube is.
Oh my god.
So, the reason why I make that distinction is there is a high chance that the face you're on has just plain not been affected by any shifts. That back face could, for all we know, be rotating just constantly, or it could be that a shift affecting your face was the last one that you know of.
Okay.
Is the cube ever solved?
That's true harmony right there.
That is a
World
meta
peace?
plot. That
Is that
meta
Nirvana?
plot. That is a meta plot related problem.
Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Okay.
You have a lot. Well, there you go. Here's what it is. Maybe cube ever does it get solved? I don't know. What happens when it does? I don't know. But that's a meta plot related question. Thank you for asking the deep ones.
What even is the correct
solve? Right. Exactly. So.
And who is solving it?
And so that's another thing that no one knows, right? There is no people debate, especially after this amount of time, whether cube shifts on its own or if someone is doing it.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Oh my god.
Okay. Interesting.
I imagine there's like
we are all quietly contemplating as we cross this bridge with the eerie lighthouse in the distance and feeling the vibes of this area, the turning of the cube.
Yeah, because it was a shift, and sorry, Brayden, I'll let you finish. It was a shift specifically. People know this. It was a shift that caused this area to be flooded.
Bro.
That caused the formation of the Reliant Ocean. It was a shift.
Ivy's like so high, right? I mean, like obviously this is all out of character stuff, but like I would be so stoned right now learning all this information for the first time. I don't know, like,
Yes.
but
I don't know why this just popped into my head, but I don't know how many of you have watched Full Metal Alchemist. But
course.
just for some reason, I'm just imagining there's like this meme that I saw recently where it was like the main character is an atheist and he literally meets God and then like punches him in the face.
Mhm.
And I just that for some reason that feels relevant right now.
Mm-hmm.
The catch these hands alchemist.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
all right.
Cool. That's all. I was just curious about that, and I didn't know if we. Actually, sorry.
Yeah, no,
this,
yeah.
there.
I was
Sorry.
waiting. That's why I was waiting.
Actually, wait a fucking second.
So, well. Here's my question, though. Obviously, we are a group of quote unquote mortals, right? Whether that is, I mean, race, origin, right? That stuff all out the window, correct? We are base mortal beings, right?
Mortal sentient beings,
But
yes.
yes. Has Reggie ever mentioned anything about other quadrants shifting? With him, I mean, with him, like obviously, with him being a dragon, he's not a god. He's not this high, powerful being. But for someone that I can only assume has been around for eons, right? Thousands and thousands of years. He must have mentioned something to us about quadrant shifting,
Hmm.
right? And if he didn't, that's fine. But this is Braden talking out loud.
Okay. I will say this. Reggie is not thousands of years old. He is, and he does qualify as an ancient dragon, which
Okay.
certainly consists of at least a few centuries, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that he loves talking about that relates to old times is he wants to find the last remaining undiscovered hold on, I got to get the name of it right because I don't want to say it is based off
The last Mimsy.
the last minute. Um, he wants to find the last remaining undiscovered mega hit movie rental location. The
Is
last,
that like Blockbuster, but for this?
essentially. So, ancient lore, and I mean ancient lore, says that on this face there was a massive wobble of the plane, and 5 mega hit movie rental stores just appeared out of nowhere. And that ancient people found these stores and built cities around them because they were centers for popular culture and basically built all of their stories, their beliefs, their cultures around these locations. So that's why Old Metro exists, because there was a location. That's why San Angeles exists. There was a location. That's why. That's why. That's why the two cities in Hyperborea exist. There were locations there. Everything else kind of just like naturally they just kind of like found geographical, like, sensible points, like near rivers, near oceans. We want to have good farmland, etc. But the initial explosion of settling down wasn't from domesticated farming or like animals and things like that. It was the desire and need to be near these holy sites in order to figure out how to uh, glean knowledge from this technology, VHS tapes, CDs, DVDs, etc., 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 video games, um, in order to learn more.
I know I have more questions now.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sure you
This,
have
I'm
lots of
sorry if this
questions.
session is turning into
This
meta
is
lore
only
session, but
yeah,
it
this
feels
has
important.
only made more questions arise.
Yes.
So so long ago,
Long ago.
ancient civilization built their cities around these blockbuster-esque stores
Yes.
that just appeared after like a ripple a dimensional ripple happened, and they all appeared onto one face of the cube, one side.
That's all that we know is that
But we don't know, because if this cube's like an actual Rubik's cube, that means that there's like the rows on each face. So we don't know. Do we not know which store is on which column? So
no,
in terms of, okay,
we do not. We there are, I mean, obviously there are 9 quadrants, right? Uh and then there are 6 faces. There are, am I doing my math? God damn
I
it.
don't
I
know. I was
multiple
good at
54
probability.
54 faces, is that right? 9 times 6? No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, God bless. Okay, there are 54
that's right.
faces on this cube. All we know is that all scholars have guessed is that there are 5 mega hit movie rental stores that should have appeared on this face. Because this happened a little bit after the shift.
And the other faces don't have modern civilizations in the same way, or we don't know.
It's been
Because of how
it's
yeah,
been
because of how
thousands of years
infrequent.
since anyone has ever seen the other side of any other face
Okay.
that you know of.
That we
Um,
okay.
there are secretive, like, groups that people guess have seen other sides of cube, other faces of cube at least. There is a problem. I will say this is common knowledge. There is a problem with space travel, in that there is a problem with space travel in that the Sultanate of Mosgraba does not allow any any, like, uh oh, what am I trying to say? Any vehicle um to go into space or come from space to this face because of their General Order 1. Because right now they see that sort of political entity sees this face of cube as being balanced, right? Like, nothing's out of whack. No one, like, there's nothing disrupting the general, because it is generally peaceful. Like, there aren't any major wars going on. So they keep General Order 1 to kind of make sure it doesn't get invaded, because there are civilizations that are on other planets way out in space, right? Um, they try to make sure that there's no sort of invasion from other faces of cube, from civilizations that might have space travel coming into here. They just serve as sort of like a gatekeepy sort of deal. And they would know who is on another face of cube, but they don't tell anyone because that would break General Order 1.
Okay. No further questions.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible you might could get information out of them if you have something to offer them or if they needed you to do something. But as of right now, it's all murky. Some of that is murky because certain groups want it to be murky.
Sounds right.
So as you pull up to this to the red and blue lights in this fog, you sort of creep the Miata, you slow the Miata down, and you creep forward, and you see really, really old timey, and I mean old timey police car, with the one little light thing on top. Car looks like it's from the 30s or the 40s, and you see this officer standing outside with like a billy club, kind of like directing traffic with a whistle. And he's got like, his little police helmet with the scalloped helmet hat with little scalloped edges, and he's just got his whistle in his hand, badge on, sort of waving the billy club, waving you by to sort of get around the scene. As you slowly creep, you can see that behind his car, there's what looks like a couple of other vehicles. One of them has Port Kingsmouth Coroner painted on the side, and you can see where a couple of ropes have been tied to the railing on the cliff, on the edge of the road going down to the cliff. You drive by. You keep going.
I guess so, right? Does anybody like want to stop or anything?
I mean, listen, if they don't stop us, then ain't no reason to stop unless y'all want to take a look. But that's Cassie. You're the one that's driving, so that's kind of your
Yeah.
call.
My instinct is always don't talk to cops if we don't have to, but
Exactly.
Good instinct.
there might be something interesting at the bottom of that rope, but we gotta weigh
One-
the
one
like, is
hundo-
that worth talking
Just clock
to a
it.
cop?
Just clock it.
Yeah, that feels
Yeah,
like
one-
100% not our problem.
One
would
hundo
be-
P.
You would be correct, you hope. And so you drive on. And the police lights fade away in the distance in the fog behind you. The fog only gets deeper, thicker, so you do have to slow down. So what would have been an hour and a half drive quickly becomes 2 hours,
Damn,
15
guys.
minutes.
Yeah, y'all. Any of y'all have to use the bathroom? You okay?
I'm all right.
All right, I'm
doing okay.
holding it.
There is an old-timey gas station with
Now we're really close.
with an
we're really
outhouse.
Close.
All right.
Do you
We're
want me
so
to pull
close.
over
I
so
mean-
you can
If you
Go use
thought
the
a cop
bathroom?
was going to be appealing an outhouse, I mean, really?
Yeah. I know.
Um,
I'm just sprinkling very desirable pit stops everywhere, aren't I?
yeah, we're like so close. I want to see if I can make it. We're so close.
how are we on gas?
Oh, you're doing fine on gas. No, you're doing fine. You gassed up about an hour and a half ago. You're doing fine on gas. Doing okay.
I can stop if you want, Ivy. It's not a big deal.
Nah, I'm trying to train my bladder better. I don't know. I pee so often.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Also, frequent urination ain't like a bad thing. Like as long as you're getting enough water, as long as you're taking in enough water, and I mean, that's fine. Like it then, the one time frequent urination starts to become a problem is when it starts to get this like real dark yellow color and it kind of gets like a little brown. Then you probably want to go and see a urologist. But if you're, like I said, if you're doing water intake, just as much, yeah, I think you're all right.
Zen, you are filled with knowledge.
I feel like there is an amount of frequent urination without a color warning that you still want to see a doctor for. Just throwing that out there.
Como se dice, as they say.
Oh shit! Should I like peanut bottles? We can check the color of my urine.
No,
Oh my-
I'm just gonna pull over. Go piss, girl.
Okay.
Go piss.
I'll be
girl.
right
I'm
back,
gonna pull off
guys.
into the gas station.
If she comes back with a sample, Zen gets to examine it.
That's fine. I think
Jesus
Rocky has like some sort of built-in like I don't know analyzer or something.
I leap out of the car.
For fluids.
I absolutely do not, sir. That is not something I have at all, ever. Nope, does not exist. I'm checking, running diagnostic now. Nope, not there.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I don't know. Any of y'all know a good urologist?
Not on this, face.
You do your business without incident. It's a dirty wooden outhouse. I can't sugarcoat it for you.
Guys, there's like a lot of poverty here. I come back I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm good. There's a lot of poverty here, man. That
That
outhouse
would
is
explain
like,
the cops, I guess.
yeah, shit.
So you continue your drive, and the smell of sea salt and like fish.
Oh, thank God, that's what the smell is.
Yeah.
Direction.
It hits your nose, and out of the fog, you see towering the soft yellow greenish illuminated face of a clock tower in the distance, signifying that you have reached Port Kingsmouth. That is the clock tower of one of the landmark buildings of the Azathothonic University. And you sort of pull through these cobblestone streets. It is an old town. Started a few centuries ago. Came up as a really nice fishing town. Has a New England style, very much in line with what you would see in Boston or parts of different parts of like Maine, New Hampshire, coast of New Hampshire sort of area. All the buildings are either wooden or brick. And you are driving by. The first thing that you hit when you come into Port Kingsmouth is you kind of drive by the port. It's one of the things. You see many like fishing schooners sort of like sitting, bobbing up and down in the water. You see a couple going out into the fog, a couple coming in from the fog to sort of dock and unload their catch and sell it off. You see dock workers. Some people are sitting there actively, like prepping their catch that they just made for market or for shipping elsewhere. There aren't many large boats here. Particularly, there is no naval port, like there's no military presence here from any sort of like power. It's really just like just a peaceful fishing town. There is the Rusty Anchor, which is the dockyard bar dive that you'll just sort of pass by through. But you do have an address. You do have an address for Professor Elwood Green, which takes you a little bit outside of town, a little bit away from the coast, up into the pine trees a little bit. Um, and you come to the driveway of this rather nice looking sort of 70s style 2-story home, um, sort of like beige-ish. Yeah, like beige or like a very light brown outside painting on the wooden panels outside. Um, Garage, slightly slightly slanted rooftop. Um, there's a uh, there is an old there is an old looking um, pickup truck sitting probably from the 50s style, I should say. Pickup truck sitting in the yard. And inside the garage, which is open, there's another vehicle with a tarp over it. Um, and there's many tools scattered about. But there is space for you to pull up the Miata and um, park.
Great.
All right. Hey, Doyle, could you do the talking?
I can try.
You all pile out of the car. It is 8:04. I will say it's 8:04. It's time for a burst break. Um, we'll move on, but you've arrived at Elwood Green's house, and we're gonna take a nice little 10-minute break here. We'll be back at like 8:15, and yeah, we'll see you all in a bit. Okay, we are back. We are back. Did I say 70s style rancher? Silly me. I meant beautiful Victorian Gothic. That's what I meant
oops.
for his house. Whoopsies.
Different.
That was someone else's house. I was thinking of the one shot from that we did that was like basically Dorothy's lab, which was a play on Dexter's lab, but it is what it is. Anywho, Professor Green's home is a beautiful Victorian Gothic house that is kept on the outside with the garage and everything. That's all still there. It's like an annex garage. Like obviously they wouldn't have just built a garage in a Victorian house. Like it's an annex, like offshoot shed looking deal. But that's it. As you approach the door, you can see that there is a little buzzer on the left with wires sticking out of it. It looks like it's been altered, and you can see this mess of wires just sort of running up into the ceiling of the porch. And there's also the standard knocker.
Okay. I'm curious about the doorbell. Can I see? Do I have any idea of what that is going to?
Yeah, sure,
Or
of
it
course.
just disappears up there?
If you look up, you can see
Okay.
that you can see that it disappears into a little box. And from that box, there is another wire. It's rubber shielded, going into a speaker that is just sitting in the corner of in the like upper corner of the porch.
So it doesn't look like it's obviously just going to drop us into a trapdoor or anything.
Not that you're
Or
aware of, no.
release the bees, or, who knows.
Unless they're speaker bees, which is a thing that could probably happen. There is a non-zero chance there are bees in that speaker.
I'm willing to risk it.
Fair enough.
Right. But first, I do kind of want to confer with the group. Like, all right, well, how do we want to play this, guys? Like,
I feel like just like a sensible, like this is Charlotte. I don't know if Ivy would communicate this. Are you doing this in character?
No, in character. Like, all right, what do we say? Like, do we think this guy is on good terms with Reggie, or?
I just be like, hey, we're the people who are gonna like take you to the thing that you want to see.
Okay, all right.
There's really only one way to find out. I say
Yeah.
we just ring the bell.
All right, ring the bell.
You ring the bell. You hear a boom, doom, doom on the inside, and then you hear over the speaker, "Hello, is this thing on? Check one. Yes. If you have rung the doorbell and have an appointment to see me, please do not hesitate to just come inside. My door is always open. Find yourself in the living room, and I will be right with you. Chances are I'm working on something inside, and I'm awfully busy."
All right. I'm going to take the invitation to go into the living room and do so.
The door is miraculously unlocked, which doesn't seem very safe in a place that has this sort of vibe, generally speaking. But
No.
you could probably just write it off. And that makes total sense to you as like a whole vibe check on this dude. As soon as you walk in, the outside looks perfectly fine. Spick and span, spotless, clean, very well kept. On the inside, it is chaos. It is the textbook example of chaotic organization in the world of science and research on the inside of this house. There are stacks of draft manuscripts, books, scientific journals on various retroverse-related subjects, if you're glancing, including corruption, Doyle, as you're sort of like passing into the foyer of this place.
I might like pick up one of those notebooks and carry it with me as I'm looking. Not pocket it, just read it.
It is so you have to remove a globe that from the top of the stack that is being used as a makeshift paperweight. When really truly it's not doing a lot. The balance of these books is precarious enough as it is. I don't think a paperweight would do much good. You do grab one of those journals.
Just to peruse a little bit.
Of course, perusing, which you do have to look up more than periodically to navigate from your perusing to navigate these hallways, as it's just become a labyrinth with how many stacks of just paper and books and just general shit there is everywhere. You see, along with the one that was topped with the globe, you see some that have beakers, flasks with and without mysterious liquids inside of them. Use paperweights, scientific instruments, microscopes, old electronics. You can see the other half of the stereo system from which the speaker outside was stolen, just torn down and just resting on top another stack of books and papers and things. You can see a globe. The globe you held down is actually not. It's a sphere. It's not cube, and it has multiple points circled on it. You think it's probably some planet off-world that he might have been observing. Adorning the walls are framed works of art that find themselves partially covered by charts and equations posted, taped, pinned, and strung on any free section of the vertical surfaces of the inside of this house. The light is dim. The shades are lowered and harshly slatted, so any light that pours in is just hitting the floor. If you, as you're reading, you do sort of bump into one of the stacks of books. It doesn't topple over, but plumes of dust just sort of erupt into the slightly musty smelling air. There is one small single wick candle that sits lit and slightly tilted on top of a small stack of binders on the cluttered coffee table as you enter the living room, that tries to fill this room with, as you read, the sweet smell of pineapple upside down cake. It's not doing a very good job. It's failing. You can see next to the couch, which is sort of very tartan patterned, just old 70s looking couch. I will say that's where the 70s came from. You can see a dog bed, and inside the dog bed is a small corgi asleep.
Okay. So, looking at the state of this place, there's a non-zero chance that there may be a corpse somewhere in the stacks. So, just be aware of that, guys. But who thinks we can convince this dog to go find its master for us?
I was gonna befriend the dog.
Yeah, that's part of the process.
I saw Ben and Cassie activate.
Y'all, hey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. As much as I would love to friend this dog, I don't think that dog is just a regular corgi. I have come across these before, and I think we need to be a little careful around this very pretty and probably very good dog.
Just stand up.
Just saying. I think we should just let it be, and then once the guy comes, we will then ask him about the dog.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if I can like use investigation or something to see if I can find dog treats anywhere in the house.
I was going to ask if I could use investigation to see if there are any scorch marks that are roughly a few inches apart, even level on any of the surfaces around. So,
You're breathing
roughly dog height. No.
yeah, no.
No,
Corgi.
you don't see anything of any scorch marks of that nature.
Okay, I think we're probably fine.
You you do so Sam, you do see sort of hidden by like a what you can assume is a recently toppled over stack of papers. Um, you do see a bucket that would have used to hold cheese balls, right? Just like those Oots cheese ball sort of buckets. Uh, yeah. But you see it filled with like the milk bone, sort of like doggy treats.
Hmm. Okay. I'm gonna take one of the little milk bones out of the jar, and I'm gonna go over to the dog, and I'm gonna gently kind of wave the treat in front of its nose while it's sleeping.
Okay. You see the dog, the corgi's like really curled up. He looks super comfortable and super sleepy. But you sort of make a sort of sound, and the corgi like really slowly wakes up and moves its head, and you can see he's got like a lot of gray in his fur. He's just a sweet old dog, and he looks up at you. He looks at the treat, and he like sniffs it for a bit, and he takes it, and he just starts nibbling on it.
I'm gonna pet the dog.
The dog accepts the pets.
Excellent.
I made a friend,
Made a friend.
and I'm just like, "Who's your good little doggy?"
You see this the corgi do the little just like the no sound, just like smiley face, eyes closed. He finishes the milk bone, and then you hear his stomach rumble a little bit, and he stands up very slowly, and he like slowly plods out of his little dog bed, his little short legs just sort of like going over the edge of the dog bed one at a time, and he starts slowly moving towards the kitchen.
Oh, we should follow him. I feel like.
I mean, yeah,
the
absolutely.
dog.
Okay, I will follow the corgi.
So you follow the
Zen is
corgi.
staying at a very safe distance away.
Smart. You follow the corgi into the kitchen. The kitchen is no better than the rest of the house. There's dirty coffee mugs filling the sink, overflowing. There's a strange Rube Goldberg-esque contraptions everywhere, installed on the counters to seemingly assist in like cooking meals for a potentially overwhelmed scientific mind. The one with like the suction cup darts that would like hold an egg and like beat it over the edge of a knife and then like do the egg stuff. Um, do the eggs to cook the eggs in a frying pan.
Yeah, the egg.
What? I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, the egg stuff.
Yeah, the egg
Yeah.
stuff. Some of them you can't make out what they do. It's just a monotony of like wires and bolts and like erector set crafted arms to do various tasks. But the corgi goes into the kitchen. There's a little rope tied to the refrigerator door handle. He pulls on it, opens the fridge, and goes in to a belt of link sausages. Carefully bites off two of them, grabs them, and drags them behind him back to his dog bed.
This is a smart dog.
He's a smart dog. He's a good boy.
I don't even care about anything else. I love this dog. This dog is my friend now.
Are there any signs of life coming from anywhere else in the house?
Oh, um, At that point, you hear a small explosion underneath your feet.
Oh.
Okay, that's a good clue.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I guess he's downstairs.
Yeah, I'm debating about whether we go down there and try to find him or see if there's anything else interesting up here.
I mean, I don't know if Cassie can be pulled away from the pooch, so.
That is fair.
All right, fine. Let's go downstairs and find this guy.
There will be more dog time later, I promise. So, you walk around and you look for the basement door, which is easy enough to find after the explosion, since there's a small trail of smoke coming out from underneath the little door jamb of to the basement. You open the door, you're hit with a wall of smoke. That sort of dissipates throughout the house, and it's not like it made any difference. The house was kind of smoky and dusty anyway. But you hear, "Oh, Karn Sarnet! Ah, good, great, good Poe! Ah, God bless it! Great Fitzgerald! There we are. That's a good one.
Great.
That's a better one. Yes.
Perfect.
Great Gatsby.
Great.
I'm
Gatsby.
just gonna call out Professor Green.
Down here, my lad. Down here.
We heard. Yes. Is it safe?
Oh, good. Well, after the initial exothermic reaction, yes, it is. It is now safe.
Okay. And this smoke, how toxic?
I would say 2% sulfuric acid, but it's of a low molarity, so I wouldn't be too worried.
Okay, so we're talking like 90 years down the road, maybe lung cancer.
Possible.
We'll probably be fine. Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm making a pill for it, so it should be fine.
Oh, even better. All right. Let's go, guys. We're probably fine.
I barely have lungs, so I don't care.
There you go.
I have replacement filters.
Let's do it.
I'm sure at some point one of me has died of cancer. So,
also, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Ivy's lungs are probably ruined with how many shows she went to.
Oh my god, no question.
True, yeah.
I'm fucked. Good thing I'm an elf.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Your ink. Speaking of, your ink is like actually intrigued. Like it's the combination of like the chaotic energy in here has like sparked it in a good vibrations sort of way.
Cool. So what it's probably doing is instead of it being like the whole entire like black tattoo sleeve, it's probably like parts of it are probably like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this visual that I'm seeing. It's kind of like a pulsing, but in a splash pattern, like different like splotches. It's kind of just like kind of pulsing, like kind of just in like splotches in place, or that's how it's showing its excitement. So splotches are turning, looking like my skin, like instead of black skin, like it's disappearing and reappearing, kind of.
Yes, it's getting inspiration. It's inspired by this sort of chaotically, though scientific, it is still it's a very creative environment. So,
cool.
As you step down into the basement, you can see that this whole place, this whole underside, has been converted into just one large laboratory. Immediately hitting you in one corner as you sort of wave the smoke away is a mess of computational equipment connected by a mountainous rat's nest of wires. There's tools scattered about. There's random whirring from various locations. You can't really pinpoint it. There's beeping. There's bubbling noises at different experiment stations. And you can see hunched over with a with like a soldering face shield on and like gloved hands, hovering over this a PCB, just a PC board, sort of like soldering things onto it, is this figure. He's wearing a long white lab coat. He has a mop of frizzled white hair. The only thing taming it is the back band of the welder's masks that he is welding, and it is Professor Green. You can see him busy soldering on the PCB of what looks like a cube-shaped device.
I walk in and introduce myself. It's nice to meet you, Professor. I'm Doyle. Reggie sent me.
He looks around. He's still wearing the welder's mask down as he walks over to, as he like drops his soldering iron and everything, runs over to. He's like, Doyle, my boy. Yes, Reggie sent me. Reggie sent you, I should say. Sorry, I've been deep in thought and have just all of the noises. It keeps me focused. Unless I'm distracted, in which case I'm not focused. But that's life, isn't it? Ha!
Yeah, Shipman.
That is true. That is true. Reggie also sent them.
Yes. My field assistants. Yes, that is very good. I've been expecting you. You're 18 hours past due, but that's fine. We won't count specifics.
I didn't know we had a due time.
Oh, that's what Reggie. Oh, it wasn't. No, it's just what Reggie thought you would be here by. I trust me. I understand that the trip here can be eventful and a little bit worrisome. But
we did have to murder a ghost puppet.
That sounds par for the course. Yes. Which I'm very intrigued by. You'll have to tell me all about it.
We've got a long trip ahead of us. I'm sure we'll be exchanging a lot of notes.
Oh, yes.
I hand him back his notebook, and I said, I was looking over these, and I've got some interesting ideas.
Oh, very good. Oh, you too are a connoisseur of corruption?
A little bit. I don't dabble in it myself, but I do like studying the effects of things that are already corrupted.
Oh, my boy, there is no dabbling. You're either in or out.
I'm trying to maintain as much of myself as possible while finding out as much as I can.
As wise.
It's a delicate balance.
That's very wise, my friend. I can see you and I will have many, many conversations on our voyage. It will be quite an eventful time. Ha!
Absolutely.
Indeed. I have just a couple more circuits. I'm packed. I just have a couple more circuits on this device, and we'll be ready to go. And he just takes his time soldering a couple more wires, and then he puts the final faceplate on what he's finished. He turns around and he says, it's done. Good. Perfect. This, I hope, is a cubic configuration resonator. It's something I've newly devised. It's meant, hopefully, to emulate the current configuration of our planet. Did you know that our planet shifts? Of course, you know, everyone knows that. Why am I saying it? Like it's a fun fact or something. But
bro, when I got really stoned like a few years ago and was first learning about our planet and found out that like it can change shapes and shit, that blew my mind.
Yes. Well, while we're on our voyage, I have a special stash you might enjoy.
Oh fuck. I look over at Cassie. Hey, you ever smoked weed before?
I feel like I should say no.
Wait, do you actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think you're lying.
Well, but neither here nor there. We'll see if this works later. But Phil, has Reggie briefed you on what the expedition is?
Reggie doesn't brief us on much.
Yes,
We mostly move things for him, and this time our job is to help you move yourself.
Well, if you come with me. He walks over to a screen and he sort of types in a few lines in a few command lines to bring up a map, and it is a vector graphics map of the current known and explored quadrants of this face of Q. And in the top, near the top left-hand corner, in one of the quadrants, is a blinking light. And he points and he says, "This is the sort of ripple that my sensory equipment registered. This is where we will be traveling. There was a great wobble in the plane. Something huge, large, exceptionally enormous got pulled in. And I must know what it is. It could pose as a danger or a new discovery that we can use or contain or subdue if it is dangerous. But
we have been hired to do all of those things.
Good, very good. Wait, did you say not? I'm sorry. I have to...
No, we have. Not usually all at once, but we've done a little bit of each. Yes.
Well, good. Yes, and we need to go there to sort of bring back samples, just determine the nature of this whatever it is that has been shifted here. Copied, pasted. It's scholars debate, but most of them are a little crazy.
Dr. Green, mate.
Professor, I'm not.
Sorry.
Not a doctor yet.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Professor Green, may I ask a question, please?
Oh yes, of course.
What's Reggie getting out of this?
Well, there are obviously, with some of these ripples, my experience has told me, there are sometimes things of collectible value that crop up here and there, and him being a laser dragon, they are prone to certain hoarding or urges, as I'm certain you're intimately familiar.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I guess. So there's not like a physical thing that you're giving to him, or it's kind of just like, hey,
it's more of whatever physical things I can't use for my research. I've dealt with Reggie before, and mostly he just accepts anything that looks and feels like it could be valuable or of some rare worth.
All right, hell yeah. I mean, that's fine. I just kind of wanted to check in there and see what we were, heading back with. All right, cool.
No, of course, you can head. Trust me. Anything we find there that is not pertinent to my very pressing goal I do not need. You can take it, give it to him. He can plug. If it's like he can do whatever he wants. Just stare at it, listen to it. It doesn't matter.
Cool. Awesome. One more question, Professor.
Yeah.
If that's all right.
Oh, of course. I'm a professor. I'm used to questions.
Yeah, right. Well, what's the dog's name?
Aristotle. Yes, he's been with me quite a long time.
It's a good name.
Laser?
Oh
Laser?
no. Oh no. We not him. Now I used to Socrates. I used to have a laser corgi though. He was a spry thing. Travel with me everywhere. He came in quite useful in a pinch in my adventuring days. He looks wistfully away. His eyes fixed on something.
Oh,
R.I.P., dude.
yeah. No, sorry for your loss. That's
Oh, it's fine.
that's hard.
It was a few years ago. It was.
Yeah. All right. Well. Say lobby.
C'est la vie. Yes, that's life. That's anyway. So I will quickly just run upstairs to my quarters and get my belongings, and we will we will go over to the dock where our vessel of adventure awaits.
All right.
Hey, so as we're like all kind of shuffling back upstairs, I look at the professor and I say, "Hey, on our drive up, there was like an accident or something. We passed by like a really old police car and just like looked like there was something going on in a ditch. Like, is what kind of like weird stuff happen? What kind of like stuff do police come respond to? Let me start that over. What kind of like calls do the police respond to around here usually?"
Oh, I see. Yes. Well, especially here being on the coast, let me ask, was there a coroner's vehicle there?
Is that the old one?
That's the old one, yes.
Yeah.
They're sort of budgetarily restricted. They haven't quite gotten with the times, as it were. But anywho, oftentimes along the coast, you'll have things wash up on the shore. Sometimes they're not so pleasant. Mostly they'll be either corpses that were lost overseas and they just turn up. Luckily they do. I say that as most people lost overboard are not ever seen again. But whereabouts did you run into that?
I don't know. How close were we to the house, guys? Do you remember?
Was it a few miles back? Was it closer to Kingsmouth or the bridge?
Shit. I don't remember.
I believe it was on the bridge.
It was closer to the
Okay,
bridge.
that's
Yeah.
Well, if it was closer to the bridge, it could be an unfortunate escapee from the Serenity Island Psychiatric Institute.
Oh.
Well,
Oh,
Guessing
now
that's where that lighthouse is.
yes, that is part of the facility that was converted to house the what's the polite way, the
the cuckoos.
well, that's I've been called cuckoo more than a couple of times in my life, Missy, and I will have you know that I find it as a badge of honor. But the mentally disturbed, if you will, or unsound of mind.
Do you know if they allow visitors?
They typically do not. It's a highly secure facility. We will be steering very clear of it. I don't want anyone mistaking me for an inmate. I mean, a patient, I should say.
Such a shame. There are so many better things to do with a lighthouse.
Indeed.
Are you riding with us, or
Oh
like,
yes, I miss an exploratory opportunity of this. No, of course I will be going with you.
How much stuff do you have?
Oh, just a few pieces of equipment, a few portable batteries, a couple of warm packing for the tundra. We will need that. A few ice picks, a few portable heaters. Let me see, some solar powered chargers, a radio, a ham radio, a shortwave radio.
I drive a Miata, so
Don't worry, lass. Where we are going, we won't need roads.
Do you have a vehicle that is capable of storing all of this? Or...
Well, I do, but we won't be using that vehicle for very long. We'll just be driving it from here to the dock. We'll be taking a voyage across the open sea.
Okay. Well, so long as it can get us to the dock, and you think that someone parking a gently used Miata here for the duration of our trip would not necessarily be a problem.
Oh, no. Everyone around here knows me and knows I have visitors, and they are used to, trust me, I am well unbothered in this community.
I can
Did we pull into the
guess
garage?
why, and I appreciate it.
Unfortunately, it is a single car garage, and I will be unable to move to make any room. It's the vehicle in there is a bit out of sorts.
Okay.
Is it a DeLorean?
No, madam, it is a Ladorian, I will have you know, and it is a very important project of mine.
Stupid.
It is a Ladorian.
Stupid.
It's not stupid. It's a very stylish car, stylish vehicle.
That was Brayden. That didn't have a southern accent to it.
Fair.
Stupid. Let me just open the Lador on my Ladorian for you. Tips Fedora.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Little
Oh,
lady.
oh.
my
Milady,
God.
here's Lador.
Madam. Anywho.
Lador.
Lador. Anywho. So yeah, he goes into yes.
Maybe Aristotle can guard the Miata.
Oh yes, he's very good
Coming with us?
guard dog. Aristotle. Unfortunately, his bones don't do very well in the cold weather. It's the canine arthritis. It's all of us.
Well, some of us.
Some of us. Well, the virgins of corruption is a thing, isn't it?
That is true. That if I tried hard enough, I'm pretty sure I could give somebody else canine arthritis.
Yes, you could.
I think this guy just called us all dogs.
Oh my god. No, I would never. No. Now, look. As we pack and get ready to go, I will make sure we'll just be on our way. How about that?
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go say bye to your dog.
Of course, you.
Yeah, I'm also going to do that.
Good. You say bye to Aristotle. He's very content and happy and full and
Giving
sleepy.
him chin scritches.
Yes, he loves the chin scritches, and yes, very good.
Such a good pup.
So, his old pickup truck does not have a back seat. There's a lot of equipment he's piled into the bed. You may have to sit on top of some of it.
I am more
I'm
than
fine with
happy
that.
to do so. Yeah.
That is not a problem.
Yeah, Ivy's very used to that kind of crazy road life, so.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very
Like,
good. So
I imagine it's still safer than some of the vehicles Doyle was in as a mercenary. Like,
there are two. It is a vinyl bench seat of a pickup truck. So there are 2 spots that people can sit in up front with Professor Green. Whoever wants to take those, it doesn't really matter. If no one wants to ride with him, that's okay.
We should sit. Wait, if Cassie and I sit in the front, could we smoke weed with the professor?
You probably could. You very much probably could.
Wiley's driving.
He's done crazier things before.
He already seems a little, I don't
The
know if we
two of
should,
you can smoke, and he can just benefit from the hot box.
There you go.
See, let's try the professor's weed.
Reluctantly going along with it.
Very nice, very nice. Okay. So, sorry. Excuse me. The 2 of you hop into the front seat of the truck, and he yells out the window, "All right, boys, you 2 hang on back there. Now we're not going to be going very fast. It's going to be a slow ride. Try to take it easy." So he backs up.
I do want to say, while this journey is happening, other than whatever conversation that you're gonna do, you might have planned for this, but once the weed starts flowing, Ivy's gonna regale the professor and Cassie with some of her favorite road trip roadie stories.
Oh, yeah.
She's feeling inspired and reminiscing and stuff. So
while he's listening very intently, as he's got a calabash pipe in his hanging out the corner of his mouth. It's weed, baby. He is piping it up, big time. But he is as he's driving, he's listening. He's like, "Oh yes, I remember my adventures." And he taps an old sepia colored photo that he has taped to the dashboard in front of a broken AC vent.
I look at the sepia colored photo.
It is a group photo. A corner of it is ripped off. Someone's face is missing. But it's a sepia colored photo of a group of people. You have, let me see who you have in here. Hold on. I've got to look for it. No. There we go. Just unplugging some things and grabbing the laptop just so I can read this directly. You see in the group, these are the figures that you can make out. You see a bloodhound headed Wonari. So think of the wolf people, the dog people, but it's he has the head of a bloodhound. He's dressed in a Western outfit with a little sheriff star badge and a cowboy hat.
Oh no.
Yep. You can see a humanoid raccoon lady. She's dressed in a sort of cat suit with a little beret. She's holding a crowbar. You can see an Ophis, not an Ophis, that's his name, a Dragonborn. He's wearing a big fluffy bomber jacket, giving a big thumbs up with a hat with goggles on the top of the hat. You can see a Goliath who's got these nice little round glasses on, and what else? And she is shouldering a pickaxe and giving a friendly little wave and a smile. She has a backpack on. You can see an Aarakocra who looks more like a duck. Arms crossed, folded. He's got an eye patch on. He's not really giving a smile, but he's got a shotgun sort of shouldered, like on a strap. He's wearing sort of camo, sort of like Spec Ops sort of gear. You can also see he's in the middle. You can also see a sort of nasty looking, like grimacing trog, which is like a frog type species. He's wearing a pith helmet, has the very British sort of like African explorer sort of outfit on, has a huge like blunt elephant gun with like a big scope on it, and he's just sort of grimacing towards the camera. You also see a group of. Sorry, 1 second. You also see a group of 4 badgers, all wearing like Norse armor and weapons in various poses. They're grouped up with one another, sort of like in one side of the picture. One's throwing up a peace sign. And then you can see.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can see 2 tabaxi. They are wearing like fighter pilot flight suits and have their helmets off, and they have like tiger striping on their fur. And the last, just double checking that I got them all. The last figure, you see Dr. Elwood Green. You see a lady hugging Dr. Elwood Green, and then at the edge of the photo where the corner is ripped off, you see another figure standing there in a lab coat, hands in pockets.
I was waiting for and a gnome dressed as a construction worker, and and an elf dressed as a police officer, and I was gonna make a joke that they look like the Village People.
Oh well, yes, no. It is a very eclectic motley crew.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The Village People extended cast. That's all.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Well, the first one you said, I was like, oh no, they're the Village People. That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, what group is this? Is this a band?
You never. I guess it's been a few decades. Well, believe it or not, I used to travel around with a group called the Mavericks. Ah, yes. We used to go all around the place adventuring, getting into trouble, solving the world's problems.
Insulting
It was quite the crew we were. Quite the crew. Until we just aged out of it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, what happened to that? What happened to that guy whose face is gone?
Oh. Him. Well,
did he flip you over? Did we gotta beat him up for you?
No, let's just say Lindy was, he's the reason I'm just a professor, not a doctor.
Oh, he's a rival. Alright, cool.
I'd rather stay away from talking about him. Don't want to harsh the vibe in our hot box, do we?
Yeah, I got you, no worries.
So.
Yeah, I had a rival for like a hot minute, and there's this weird like pink versus green thing going on. Like she would show up and like also have like a pink streak, to my green. I didn't know what her deal was. And like she would always try and work at the same bars, but she was like really good at drums. And I was like, dude, we don't even play the same instrument. Like, why are you trying to like do this? So like, I don't know what happened to her. She kind of like vanished, but
Well, I wish Lindy had vanished long before. Anywho, let's look, the dock. Our vessel awaits. And as you all look out, at this dock, as he sort of like rumbles down this slightly unsteady wooden pier, in this pickup truck, you can see that there is a fishing boat parked at this dock, and stepping down the gangway, smoking a cigarette, is dressed in all yellow, like sailor slicks. Is this Aarakocra? Looks like a pelican. He steps down onto the pier. You notice he has a peg leg, and he's just sitting there smoking, waiting for you as you park the car. Professor Green jumps out. I gotta get this guy's name. Hold on, I do have a name for this dude. Yes. Captain Cormorant, there you are. Yes, good. Is she all ready to go for the voyage?
Aye. She be ready to go for 2 days now. These the souls be aboard me ship.
Yes, all of them. All of them. We will be ready to slip away into that good night.
What?
It's a figure of speech, lad. Figure of speech.
Oh my god.
It is, but I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it means that we're going to die.
Oh no! Well, there's a non-zero chance of that happening. I will admit, but no. It's, simply, we, as you notice, this is not exactly a research vessel. We have to be a little careful in the waters we are taking to our destination. Be discreet, as it were. We don't want the Iosian Netocratic Republic People's Republic to be suspicious.
So we're doing something like totally illegal.
Well, not exactly illegal. No. It's quite legal. Fishing.
All right, I'm back on board.
We get to be the smuggled cargo.
Well, in a way, yes.
That's so novel. We've never done that before.
Well, there's a first time for everything. But you must understand, the Iosian Sea is difficult to navigate, and Captain Cormorant here, his vessel, is perfectly armored and capable of navigating the sea without his vessel taking any damage. I'm certain you're familiar with the glassbergs that frequently roam the Iosian Sea, ripping normal vessels apart with their sharpness, skewering whole ships, unbeknownst to them. No, well, there you have it. Well, there it is. Anywho, but Captain Cormorant knows those waters better than anyone else, and he is part of the Fishermen's Guild, which means that by treaty, he has special permission to fish in the waters of the Iosian Peninsula, surrounding the Iosian Netocratic state. However, due to that, we are going to use his special privilege to sidestep any suspicious eyes, which is also why we have provided all of you with matching fisherman outfits according to your Sizes as provided by Reggie. And his kobolds.
Man, that's so cool. What color are they?
Well, they're yellow. They're all yellow.
Okay.
That's great.
That's gonna clash with my whole thing. Like, there's this thing called a color wheel,
Yes.
and like,
Don't tell me you're a
want
deep
to, like-
winter.
Well, it's just the opposite.
Oh.
Whatever.
On the bright side, if you fall overboard, we'll be able to see you as you hit the glassbergs.
If that is if you don't impale yourself when you fall, or get eaten by a hollow beast, or disappear in the murky black waters which no one can see through because it's not exactly water. But worst case scenario, we can see you for a little bit.
Cool.
Lit.
Indeed.
Try to stay on the boat.
Try to stay on the boat. Indeed, that is wise advice for any
Sick, man.
sailing voyage.
This is great.
Jen, are you
I
good
love
with the
it.
yellow outfits?
I mean, yeah, that's fine with me. I'll just does Rocky need to wear one, or does...
I don't believe so. Certainly, having mechanical companions is not unheard of. I don't think their little scout drones would think anything weird about that. We should be fine.
At least get life vests.
Oh yes. Oh well. Yes. I mean, yes, you can get life vests. Although drowning is the least of your worries if you fall into that water.
I didn't like the way you said yes.
Yeah.
Something
Like
that was
that's
not
the definition of
It's
You're like, well,
let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. A life vest in these waters will do you about as much good as rubbing your foot with aloe vera to cure a headshot. A shot to the head. Does that make sense?
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, we're totally on the same page. I love
Perfect.
this.
At least the same textbook. But anywho.
Can I? You said drowning, or I guess like just like being in the water would be like the least of our worries.
Oi.
What would be the most of our worries?
like 6 other things he mentioned before that.
Yeah, but like what's like the biggest?
There's a time in my voyages I was part of a crew. We went a voyaging in these waters. The wind done blew us off course, it did. And we got stuck there. In a wooden vessel. In the Iosian Sea. And we hit a glassberg, we did. Ripped the whole hull of the ship apart, the keel to stern. And as we were going down, ship broke apart. And there we were, 100 men in the water. And we heard them first, the low vibrations of their pulley guns as they vibrated around us. Some men swore they felt something on their feet. Amid the burning cuts and abrasions of the little tiny glass particles that were shredding them apart. And we waited there. Oh, waited there we did for 3 days. And one by one they took us. The hollow beasts. Steely-eyed, cold-eyed. Glowing like neon like the devil himself. 100 men went in the water. 12 men came out of the water. But no men left that water a whole of himself.
And he stops his peg like,
I just have one more question before we proceed. Rocky, do you in that mixtape you got going on, you got any sea shanties in there?
Hold on. What's the name of that one?
Wellerman?
Yeah. There's that one.
The drunken sailor.
Indeed, I have one. On the first part of the playlist is Barrett's Privateers,
Great.
which I will try to. It does have to do with missing legs, so I guess we'll be careful about that one. But anywho, yes, we have that queued up for you.
Great, let's fucking go.
All right.
Get right on the boat.
All right.
I
You
whispered to the professor, "Hey, make sure this guy like has some stuff for him. He needs it."
Oh, I will get I will roll some special cigarettes for him indeed. Oh,
He
trust me.
needs to relax.
I bet he does.
So, you all get all of the equipment piled onto the boat. There's a couple of dock workers that are just sort of watching you, as dock workers do sometimes, when there's nothing for them to know shit. It's just a standard like dockyard tomfoolery or vibe. Um, you 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 detach yourself. I don't know the correct sailing terminology for that, but you detach yourself from the dock, and he turns on the engine of the fishing boat. A plume of dark, just dirty ass smoke comes out of the stack, and you slowly putt your way across the ocean, heading north to the northwest. And with that, we're gonna have a little break here, and we'll be back in 10 minutes, and then we'll sort of we'll have one or two more scenes, and then we'll wrap up for the evening.
Great.
There we go. We're back. As appropriately to a sea shanty. And fading that out. As we make our way into the next leg of this adventure, which is the water-based one. It is when you're traveling in this fishing vessel on the Reliant Ocean.
That's why.
It is more or less kind of quiet. While you're close to the you're sticking not too deep in the ocean. You're kind of sticking close to the shore. So you'll have a small flock of seagulls that will kind of patrol and orbit the fishing vessel. Every once in a while, they'll swoop down and sort of land on the railing or the gunwale, if you will, as Captain Finian Finn Cormorant. So Finn's is what he prefers to be called by. But on this vessel, he is Captain Cormorant to you. And the vessel's name, I forgot to say, is called the Codebreaker. Instead of the Icebreaker. It's the Codebreaker.
Mm.
And it is so named. Vessels of this nature that go into the Iosian Sea are so named because named like sort of code or like computer or like data related names, because anytime you like look into the water, anytime it ripples, you see ones in the Iosian Sea. You see like ones and zeros, and it just looks like lines of code sometimes in ripples and reflections. It's as if the water itself, they swear it's made out of data. And the glassbergs, those are real. It's just they're shards of glass, and because the water, right, is opaque. You can't really see. You're gonna be lucky if you see glass in the water, but it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous, and it's slightly corrosive too. So you have to have special vessels with armored hulls that are resistant to piercing, cutting, acid resistant, essentially, so that they can survive the journey. But they do hunt fish, hollow beasts, right? Because you can basically harness those catches for energy, for electric energy, for their sort of pseudo magical properties. He has on his vessel, you see a number of stations where you can like put a hollow beast corpse in a vat and it converts it to energy and fills up a huge battery. You can see where there's a station where he can convert it to hard light objects for use in like construction or creation of weapons, armor, things like that. Reverse engineering the genetic or the code of these hollow beasts to further research and development of things like hard light projectors, of things like hollow discs, vid discs, things like that. It's a lucrative business. It's a dangerous business because where a lot of the sea-based ones are, there are land-based ones, and you can hunt them basically anywhere across the Retroverse. But here they are very prominent because the ocean is a life-filled, life, as you want to define it, is a life-filled biome. but it's you travel for, I'd say, a good 3-4 hours. It's slow going on the ocean before you even cross the border into the Iocian Sea, and it's a stark difference. Where the Reliant Sea and the Iocian Sea meet, it is a line. It is like a plain as day, very little variance line, which is apt because it's also the quadrant demarcation line. In the retroverse, yes. In the retroverse, on Cube, the quadrants are split not only by various major geographic distinctions and qualities, but they each have their own sort of vibe, is the best way to put it, or governing elements. And typically those government elements tend to keep to themselves, which is a byproduct of the cube's ability to shift, and also a byproduct of why certain quadrants are themed the way they are. It's just kind of the nature of cube that some would say appears artificially designed, but people accept as kind of a natural thing. And as you cross it, there is a marked difference in the viscosity of the water. You instantly hear like the subtle tinkling of like glass being shattered and broken as you sort of ease into the water. It is not don't think of like waves, like cresting in this sea. Think of more like the fabric of space-time, right? So instead of like peaks and instead of like sharp peaks and troughs as you would see in ocean water, it's more like bumps and like concavities and convexities on the fabric of this liquid. You're moving through it kind of like oil, in a degree. And you notice that the seagulls that had been following you before instantly fuck off. Like, they turn around, they get out of there, they don't want nothing of this. And as far as you can tell, in front of you, along the coast, which now looks more dead. In fact, you started to notice the trees sort of shifting from nice, lush pine forests to sort of dead trees. And then you started noticing that the trees looked more crystalline in branches. And then eventually you just see a mountain ridge, the beginning of a ridge of mountains, as you round the corner of this peninsula, the tip of this peninsula. It's just a mountain ridge covered up to the tree line with Archie, I guess you're getting up now. Okay, that's fine. Up to the tree line with crystal trees, crystal trunks, crystal branches, crystal leaves, and it's a dazzling sight to behold. As the sort of midday sun crests and shines down. It'll catch. Sometimes the rays will be intense, and like the glints of light will be intense. You see Captain Cormorant at the wheel. What a little baby indeed. You see Captain Cormorant at the wheel, sort of folding his the brim of his hat as he sort of takes the helm down just to deal with the harsh reflections and glares. But there's nothing living in sight. Except for you and your the rest of the people on this voyage, which is just you, your party, Professor Green, and the captain.
I think Zen will probably like wait an appropriate amount of time to where like everybody is kind of just like doing their own thing, and then eventually will saddle up beside the professor and say, uh, um, "Professor, may I have a word with you, like alone, if if that's all right?"
He says, sure, my boy. We'll, it's a small vessel. I don't know how alone we can be, but,
I mean, right here is just fine. It's not that big of a deal. I just,
of course, of course.
um, I was, I was listening to you talk to Ivy and Cassie up front, and I apologize. I wasn't trying to like eavesdrop on your story or anything, but we all were in the same vehicle, so I figured anything you told them was probably also okay for me and Doyle to also listen to.
Well, I have been known to be a bit of a blowhard, and, well, having to deal with a lot of students in big lecture halls has gifted me with a very powerful diaphragm, I have to say.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. I totally I get what you're saying. Um, you were a part of the Mavericks.
Oh, yes, an integral founding member.
Oh wow. That's amazing. Congratulations. I guess I don't know. I guess I don't really know exactly like what I should say to that. I guess.
Are you a fanboy? Have you been collecting all of our Pulp Fiction recreations? Now, I will tell you, some of those issues are not exactly factual.
No, no. I
I
may
never
not look
did
like.
ride a T-Rex. I'll have you know, I never did ride a T-Rex. That was
All right.
close to it, but just
Sure. Yeah, sure, fair enough. No, I may, I may not give off that kind of vibe, but I'm not a historian. I'm not like, I'm not a professor, as you can probably. I know my way around, taking care of Rocky and fixing him up when he gets a little damaged. But that's kind of like the extent of my knowledge. But um, wh- what I wanted to ask you though is were you a part of the downfall of the and Zen will like lower his voice just like a tad and say were you a part of the downfall of the Mega Thunder Laser Force? Were you a part of that mission when the Drakes called y'all in to help out with that?
a part of the downfall. My boy, we did all we could to help them.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. I guess well, I mean they're gone now, right? So
Well,
like
yes, they're
downfall in the
gone.
sense of like they they disappeared, right?
Yes, they were very quickly run out of town and scattered themselves. Like us, a lot
Yeah,
of them retired.
right. Um, do you remember or can you tell me what what event kind of started that off? Like what happened to make everything kind of pop off?
Oh. Well, sorry, gotta get his name.
You're good.
Well, the way our old leader, Commander Stormwing, put it, they were, well, they were betrayed by one of their own. Supposedly, one of their henchmen, higher up in the organization, opened up a quasi-interdimensional rift in time and space, and summoned the most hideous kaiju you've ever seen. Almost if he had been allowed to continue going, it would have been an army of them. They would have rampaged all throughout the city. That's a large city. It takes a whole lot of kaiju to rampage through that size of a city.
Right, yeah.
Well, I can't tell you. I can't tell you directly. I was more of a support role, trying to help research different weak points on the various colossal vermin that we had to extinguish. But that's the report I got. They were betrayed. That he was never seen again. A lot of people thought he died in the initial opening of the portal. It very well tore their whole headquarters apart, asunder.
You said you were kind of, you did a lot of research and finding out about the monsters and weak points and whatnot.
Yes.
The henchman that opened up the rifts. Do you remember what? I mean, do you know a lot about like henshin lore and like henshin like classes? Like if I were, I guess if I were to ask you like what kind of powers did this henshin have? Would you do you have that knowledge?
I only got a name. His name, that we were told, his real name is Clyde. He was a power mask henshin. Typically, his Zeka was, from what we understand, was a griffin.
Yeah.
He's going to hear the trepidation in your voice and say, "My boy, look, whatever past you have, it, as a historian, it only provides so many answers. The only answers it provides are to what has been. Very rarely will it provide answers to what will be. That is entirely up to you. We are a reflection, not of our past selves, but of the future self we want to be. At least, that's what helps me sleep at night."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Professor. I appreciate those sentimental words. Zen like removes his hat for a second and kind of just like runs his hand through his hair and takes off his sunglasses and kind of like squeezes like the bridge of his nose and we'll say Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally get you. Yeah, one more question. And I'll leave you to make a plan for us whenever we get to our destination. And if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. I'd kick myself in the rear end if I didn't ask you this. What did Lindy look like?
Lindy. Lindworm Blitzkrieger was a colleague of mine at Azothatonic University back when we were graduates. A graduate program. He's a wily old coot of a scientist. Mad he was. Human. Hair. Out to here, almost like mine, but, we almost got mistaken for a couple of times, if only because he kept growing that damn bushy mustache. Told him it didn't do much to accentuate the sharp features of his face. But anywho, that's what he looked like. Why, have you had the misfortune of running into him? I'm sure he's still petering about.
No. I was just making sure that maybe somebody I knew wasn't somebody else. Just trying to dot some I's and cross some T's, if you know what I mean.
Of course. If you don't mind my asking, not to assume anything, but you look like a rather young fellow. You couldn't have been one of the henchmen that was part of the Mega Thunder Laser Force, are you?
Oh no, no, yeah, no, no, not directly. I guess I should technically say. I mean, shit. You are honest with me. I'll be honest with y'all.
Yes.
With you. Not directly associated with them, but maybe like a degree away in a sense.
A degree away. Oh, son. Here. Here. Take a rip of this bowl and let's talk about it.
Oh God. You know what? Oh, look. Oh, you hear that? Oh, someone's calling me.
Oh, I do.
Yep, absolutely.
I do.
Yep,
No.
Yep, absolutely.
No, that's not a call,
Yeah,
son. Son, that's... I do hear it. That's not a... Great Gatsby, look! And he points out in the sky, and you can see tiny specks in the distance. And you begin to hear a whirring sound of high-pitched tiny propellers. And you see 3 dots in the sky. And as they get slowly closer, you can tell that they are drones.
Oh, shit.
And
we're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
Yes. And at that, we're gonna end the session there.
Oh damn.
There we go.
All right.
Very good. Some nautical nonsense. Be something you wish.
Those Those are birds.
Uh-huh. Sure. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here in the new year. We will see you next time here on the SpellCast on Sunset Grid. And we wish you all wonderful, wonderful Monday evening, rest of your Monday evening, and a wonderful week. And we'll see you later. All right. Everyone say bye.
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 Bye.